Okay, time for some real talk. I had planned to do my first episode review this week, but recently I feel the need to talk about this first. This past Saturday, Tommy Oliver released a video discussing whether or not MLP analysis and the MLP analysis community in general is damaging the fandom. The video was subsequently featured on EQD and became a subject of discussion. Now, the argument over whether or not MLP analysis is a good thing isn't really new. I've seen many forum threads on FimFiction and other MLP related sites that discuss this issue. But this is the first time, at least to my knowledge, that a big time MLP analyst addressed this issue in a video. Now, after watching the video and reading the comments and seeing what other people had to say on other different sites, I took the time to come up with my own personal answer to two questions that have been burning in my mind. Firstly, does MLP analysis have a negative effect on the fandom? And secondly, is MLP analysis a bad thing in and of itself? My answer to the first question would have to be yes and no. And whichever side you lean on would have to depend on your personal opinions. A positive claim that one could make about these videos is that they open up a new layer of MLP that you don't really see when you first watch it. It becomes more than just a kids show. It becomes a kids show that we can appreciate for more deeper levels of writing and storytelling. And it showed a lot of people that this is a show that you can really get invested in. On the other hand, this community can still have a negative effect on the fandom as well. I noticed that around the tail end of Season 3, the fandom became a little less jolly, for lack of a better word. Especially around the time of Twilight's coronation. People were more critical of the show and had more things to complain about, and one could make the argument that the rise of brony analysis videos have contributed to this rising negativity. And I can kind of agree with that. Now fast forward to Season 4, where people are more critical of the show than they ever were before, eventually leading to arguments and infighting, which doesn't help our public image. All of this conflict eventually leads to people leaving the show. And around the tail end of Season 4, I saw more and more people saying that they have been losing interest in MLP and have abandoned the fandom altogether. At first, I just thought it was people just losing interest in something and just moving on with their lives. But after becoming more active in the fandom, writing fan fiction, doing fan art, and more recently, doing videos, I now realize that part of the reason why some people leave the fandom is because of all this negativity that's been happening lately. And a lot of times when people are asked what really caused all this negativity, the finger is usually pointed towards the brony analysis community. And I'm not sure if I agree with that. And I'm sure some of you are thinking that I'm only saying this because I myself am a brony analyst, but here's the thing. I don't really consider myself to be one. A lot of my reviews are pretty much basic observations and opinions. I talk about what I like, I talk about what I don't like, I talk about how the visuals work or don't work depending on what it is, and I do talk a little bit about some intricate details of storytelling. But I honestly don't think that my opinions are actually analyses. There's a reason why I don't title my videos Sketchy Analyses, and that's because they aren't. They're just reviews. Me expressing my opinion on what I like and don't like about a certain piece of MLP media. So I don't really consider myself among the ranks of the big time MLP analysts. With that being said, I think it's kind of unfair to place all the blame for the spark of negativity within the fandom on these people. I'm not saying that they don't contribute to the rise of negativity and increase of criticism, but they definitely haven't caused it. I personally think that this phenomenon isn't a cause of any one entity, but rather a natural occurrence. The more you love something and the more you invest your time into it, the more critical you are of that something. In the case of media, when you first get into something and fall in love with it, you overlook the flaws that it has. But as you become more engrossed into it, the more flaws you see and the more critical you become. Which leads to my second question. Is MLP analysis bad in and of itself? And I would have to say, no. A lot of people have this misconception that these big time reviewers now hate the show and are making videos because they have to fit a quota or because they just want to bitch about something. While I don't know for sure, I strongly believe that this isn't the case. Just because you have critical opinions about something doesn't mean you hate it. I think that if these people really hated the show, they would have stopped making videos a long time ago. There can be certain things about a show, be it a character or an episode or a story element, that they may not like. But that doesn't mean that they don't like the show. The fact that these people continue to watch it despite its shortcomings should be a testament to how much they love it. And I think what this all boils down to is opinions. not just opinions, but people taking their own opinions and others' opinions too seriously. Just because someone is presenting their opinion on something, that doesn't mean that they believe that their opinion is an objective fact. And it also doesn't mean that your opinion is less valid. In addition to our growing investment into the show, I think another reason for all this negativity is the rejection of outside opinion. It is possible to compare and contrast viewpoints with another person and still walk away respecting that other person. I recently had a conversation with 3 of my friends about Sword Art Online. One half of us thought that the anime sucked, myself included, and the other half thought that the anime was great. While we did have conflicting views, and while the conversation ended with neither side conceding to the other, we still walked away from each other as friends and accepted the fact that there were opinions other than our own, and that was okay. I really think that we need to stop seeing opinions that oppose our own as personal attacks and start accepting them as a part of life. There's actually a lot we can learn from people who don't think the same as we do. I actually love the show more because of MLP analysis videos, because now I can see the more intricate details of the show, and it's helped me in my storytelling and in my comic writing. Of course, there are people who express their opinions in an unpleasant manner, but we still shouldn't let that affect our personal lives and accept the fact that they are just opinions, as hard as that may be sometimes. So, this video covered a pretty touchy subject, but I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below or send me a message on Tumblr. Until next time, keep it sketchy, folks. And check the comments for additional views that I had that didn't make it in the video.